Oh my gosh, Scott, what coin do I buy now? What's the next big move? Tell me, help me. It's a very common question, right? It's all going through our heads. What coin do we buy now? How do we decide what to buy now? Now, no one, including myself, obviously has a crystal ball and knows the future about the crypto market, about any investment, right? There's always a risk. But what I do want to do is talk to you about some simple philosophical things that you need to do in your approach to deciding what you're going to buy next, or how to enter into the crypto market if this is your very first purchase. This is such a broad topic, and I want to try to keep it simple for you. So, especially if you're just coming into this as a beginner, or you don't have a lot of experience in investing, this might be helpful for you, and even maybe for a little bit of intermediate people. But the first thing that you got to understand is your own risk tolerance. What is your risk tolerance? What can you afford to lose? You should not be investing or buying in anything that is going to cost you long term in the future, or short term, meaning you can't pay rent or get food or take care of the family, take care of yourself, put gas in the car or whatever. That's just ridiculous. And it's sad that I have to say that, but it's true. Some people approach this and they get crazy, man, like it's gambling. So you got to understand your risk tolerance. Don't risk anything that you can't come back from. Basically, don't create a situation where your losses are going to be so great that it impacts you in the short or the long term too heavy. So you got to understand your risk tolerance. Now, some of the things I consider about risk tolerance is there's a old financial rule, the rule of 100. So you take your age minus 100, and that kind of gives you a tolerance ratio. So let me give you an example. If you are 50 years old, then 50% of your money should be in safe, sound, absolutely no chance that you're going to lose that money type of investment. Very conservative, right? Make sure it's insured, it's backed by the government, etc. The other 50% can be put at more aggressive or at risk type of investments, because you're looking for the big win, right? Aren't we all? And so it kind of goes on the age, because how much time do you have left to rebuild or recover if things go bad? So if you look at you're 20 years old and you're watching this, 25 years old, let's say 20 years old, then 20% of your stuff should be safe and sound, growing in that 401k or that IRA or something that you really trust and is backed and is insured. But the other 80%, man, you can really kind of go more aggressive and go harder at it. And I'm not saying super aggressive like coin offerings or something like that, but I'm just saying you could be a lot more aggressive. Why? Because you're 20. You have, if you're thinking in terms of retirement, you have 40 years to recover from your mistakes, to earn more money and to make a comeback. If you're 50 or 60, not so much. You don't have that time. So at 50 or 60, I wouldn't be taking my retirement money and investing it necessarily in crypto. Though I could argue a couple ways or reasons to do that. But anyhow, so just figure out your own risk tolerance. Something else that helps me with risk tolerance is I love doing swing trades, scalping, in order to get profit back until I get my initial investment back. Then I feel so much better. So I know if I'm taking my STEMI check, or I'm taking $1,000, or if I'm taking $150 and I'm entering into this game for the first time, my first goal is, man, I want to get my $150 back. I want to get my 1,000 back. I want to get my 1,400 back. When I get that, I'm going to take it back out probably, and then put it back in that safe, secure, low risk place that I had it originally. Then now I'm playing with extra money. I'm playing with house money. It's not really mine. So the sting of losing it, there's an opportunity cost, but it's not as bad as if I take my own money and lose it. Now, and that's just maybe psychological for me, but it helps me. Also, is it extra money? So, my wife had issues with me wanting to invest in Bitcoin with her not understanding it. So one of the agreements we made was if I did retail arbitrage, sold things on eBay, if I drove for Lyft or Uber, anything else to earn extra money solely with the intention, if I wanted to invest it in this, then it didn't come out of the family account, it didn't come out of the paycheck, anything else. So you could do this too. You could drive on the weekends or one night a week. You go out on Saturdays with the intention of just making $100, and that $100 goes into your investment account that you're playing with, that you're risking. You lose, a Saturday, you lose some time, but I think it's worth it. It pays off in the long term. And if you did that, every Saturday for a year, 52 weeks, that's $5,200. No telling what you could turn that into over the next year or two. It'd be incredible. So, but again, it's extra money. You're not putting yourself at risk. So those are some of the things I suggest in that department. So, how do I decide on what crypto to buy? Well, one of the first things that I recommend you do is you set up alerts. You set up Google alerts on crypto, on the coins you like, etc., so that you get emails about it. But more importantly, you find some personalities, some advisors, some channels on YouTube and Twitter, the companies that you're investing in, the coins that you're interested in, or just people who talk about the space and give investment advice or give you their take on what they're doing. So you want to go to YouTube and Twitter, and you want to follow them, subscribe to them, and also set up alerts to receive notifications, push notifications on your phone immediately when they tweet or they release a YouTube. Now, obviously, you can't do that it would be just a pain in the butt and really not productive if you were to do that for 20 different people or even 10 different people. I suggest you find one or two people that you really connect with, maybe three. You really trust, whatever reason their personality brings that out, and you like how they talk, you like how they invest, and you understand. They break it down into jargon that you can understand, and you see other people raving about them. Those are people that you might want to follow, and once you find that, set up your alerts for, so that you immediately know when they make a decision or drop a video. Now, somebody I follow is JRNY Crypto, Journey Crypto. I trust the guy. He's got a great track record, unbelievable amount of information he provides. So I do recommend him. But that's one of the ways I find my best trades, following him, especially on Twitter too. There are tweets seem to even happen. Twitter gets information out even before the news. So before somebody could record their YouTube video, or before your Google alert can send you an email, people will tweet stuff, and it happens fast. So I found some of my best buys by having my Twitter alerts set up properly. Let's take 20 seconds for those who might be new to this, and I want to show you just how to set those alerts on both YouTube and Twitter real fast. Okay, so I just typed in crypto guru, and this guy popped up as one of the people on the list who I don't follow. I have no idea who he is. This is not a promotion for him. I'm simply showing you how to subscribe and set notifications up. So you want to come over, obviously hit the subscribe button. Here's the important piece, that bell icon. Hit the bell icon, do all. Now, every time Tom here releases a new video, I will get a push notification immediately on my phone letting me know. So I do that with Journey Crypto, JRNY. So immediately when something pops up, I jump over and watch his video if I'm available at that moment, because sometimes it's very important information to get in on buys early. Okay, and on Twitter, it's very similar. I have no idea who Milan is. I'm not promoting him. It looks to be a music channel or a writer. I don't know. Anyhow, so you would just hit follow, and then here's your bell notification. Notify, turn notifications on. So then you will get a notification every time they tweet. This is super important to do on Twitter for the accounts you want to follow and you trust and provide great information. Okay, so another way to find these buys and trades is through Telegram and Discord groups. Now, the Telegram groups and Discord groups, I like the idea. I'm sure there's a couple that you can get into. It's just like the Reddit subreddits, right? That's another option. How they did the GameStop, and they trade information, share information. They can pump certain buys. So there are some groups probably that are pretty good to do that, Telegram and Discord groups. But unless the person you trust is building a team and monitoring it and policing it, I have found some good information in the Telegram and Discord groups, but I've also found a ton of spam and a ton of con artists. I can do a whole nother video on how not to get taken in the crypto space, how to avoid scams. But those groups are just full of scammers and full of idiots. This morning, somebody posted, something's about to go to the moon. And somebody said, why do you think that? Like, we're looking for information. And he responded, oh, I don't know, I just heard it. and it's like, you can't go off that stuff. You got to do your research. And I just pictured some young kid in there just posting that because he saw it on TikTok. So you got to be careful in there. But if you get one that's heavily policed and got a good team, I'm sure that they're great. And I have had some good conversations and found a couple good things I hadn't thought about before in there. So that's another way that you can do it. And the great thing about those, if you find a good group, that information is super fast, right? You get your Telegram notifications like that on your phone, especially if it's a small group of really strong, smart investors. That could be powerful. And then, of course, everybody wants to know, all right, get to it, Scott. What about the high risk, high reward buys? How do you find those? How do you identify those? We're talking about the ones that make you go from 20 to 30 times your money. The really big ones. The way I think I'm going to be able to turn my STEMI into $42,000, right? The journey I'm on. If you're not following that, please subscribe and hit the bell notification. I showed you how, so that you can follow that journey and watch me do that. But the rules for high reward, high risk, high reward, $20 20 million market cap, $20 million market cap or less is what you want to look for, and a coin that is going to have a super high potential of earnings. So that's number one. Probably something within 1 or 2 years old, so it's a little bit established. Then you're going to want to go do research on what are the utility and future utilities. What is the team? I see so many people get involved in these launches or these young coins. They have no idea who's on the team, who owns the company, who's building it, what gives them credibility. There's just a bunch of hype about it. Somebody's pumping it up. Influencers are pumping it up, but maybe the influencers were paid. A lot of them are paid. So I come out with a token or a coin, and then I contact this big YouTube influencer, and I say, I'm going to give you $1,000 in this coin or $10,000 in this coin, but I want you to rave about it. Here's all the great things we do. Well, of course he's going to rave about it because he wants it to go up. He takes his $10,000, he talks about it, it pumps it, it goes up to 100,000. He sells and gets out real quick. Then we're all left holding the bag. So you got to be careful with that. And last but not least, I would use coinmarketcal.com to try to gather some more information and find some really hot stuff and see what the community is saying about that, along with doing your own research and news sites and the company's websites and stuff. Coinmarket.cal is important. And let me show you just a little bit of that, and that's what we'll end with. Okay, so here we are over at coinmarketcal.com. And I could do a whole class on this, but basically, you're going to see some trending, some significant, some hot, and then coins with potentials. But the big thing is, and I told you, my belief right now is everything is driven by hype and media. That's why the calendar is so important. This is probably the biggest tip, because whenever there's an announcement that this coin is now going to be listed on this big exchange, on Coinbase or on Binance or something, that's big news. It's graduating to a new level, right? That coin or that token. If there's partnerships, somebody's teaming up with Uber or some other big partnership, those are big deals. Those drive the pump a little bit, if you will, drive the press. So it's important to know what's coming up on the calendar so that you can see if potentially something you're thinking about investing in has any significant things coming up in the future. So you can change how you search down here. So you can exclude coins, you can look at the top 10, you can do 100, you can search by a certain keyword, you can search by the coin, you can look at the top 300s, DeFi's, top 100, you can go to Bitcoin only, Ethereum only, BNB, whatever, you get the idea. Maybe you trade only on Binance or something along those lines. And one of the Coinbase Pro, any of these Uniswap, etc., you can find it on the exchange list. You can go by category. Are you looking only for airdrops? Are you looking for partnerships that are coming up, etc.? Then you can sort by significance. Is it trusted? Is it trending? Is it hot? What's the most recent information? And then what I like to do is change the date. So you just go like the next 30 days out. And then you can search. So the next 30 days out, and I want to look for partnerships. That might be one search, and there's a wide variety of searches you can do. Listen, I'm not going to spend a bunch of time on it, but then you can kind of go through and read these and see if they make any sense to you, and then dig a little deeper and get information. So I hope that helps. I hope it's a blessing. If it's so, please do me a favor and subscribe and hit that little bell icon. If you are not trading on Voyager yet, it's a great platform. It's what I'm using for my journey from STEMI to $42,000. And if you're going to follow along, there's a link below. Go ahead and click that link to get $25 free in Bitcoin if you've never used Voyager before. That opportunity is there and helps me and the channel. So I appreciate it. No extra cost to you to do that. So appreciate it. Let me know what questions you have, what you'd like me to do a video on next. Thanks, guys.